All right, it's Clint, and here's a bunch of bash commands that I use to set up a brand new openziti environment and a brand new zrok environment. And the hardest thing about this, in my opinion, is getting your wildcard certificate. So once you've decided on what domain name you want to use, you'll want to use Docker and certbot, like I've shown here, to acquire a Let's Encrypt wildcard certificate. Getting that will mean you'll need to update your DNS so that you have a text record that points, or that star dot your domain points to, and you'll want an A record so that when you do a dig to Acme challenge your domain for texts, you'll see some big long set of characters that Let's Encrypt wants you to put in there to verify that you own the domain. Then when you ping something at your domain or ping other thing at your domain, both of those things come back with the same IP address, indicating that you have the A record for your wildcard domain set up correctly. Once you've done that, once you've got your wildcard certificate in place, you're good to go. Come back and follow along from here on forward. Next thing we'll want to do is we'll want to make an answers file. So I will make my March 15th answers file. And you'll see there are some things that you need to change. Everything here is all you need to consider changing. So you can see I put my ZD home, which is where everything will get installed into, including zrok, at opt openziti self-hosted zrok. Well, the zrok binary you'll probably install some other way. And then I have a wildcard DNS that does not include the star. It is just the raw zdtv.demo.openziti.org. And notice that I have an external DNS as well for this machine. It's an Amazon machine, so it gets a DNS entry, but I've commented it out because I'm going to use only an IP address. Maybe you only have an IP. Since you're updating a DNS for text records and an A record, you should put in another domain for ZD here, just in case your IP changes. If your IP changes and you're using an IP-based openziti install, you're going to have a bad time because your whole PKI will be generated in a way that is no longer compatible with your new IP address. So you might as well just make a new DNS record while you're in there. But, and this is very, very important, make sure the wildcard DNS entry that you use does not overlap with the server DNS entry you use for the openziti overlay. If it does, then the server name indication that we use in order to figure out what certificate to present will fail, and you'll get random failures. So to avoid that, I'm not going to even use a DNS entry in this video. I'm going to set a ZD password, ZD March 15th, and same for zrok, zrok March 15th. And then I'm going to leave everything else blank, or the defaults. The only one that you might want to change is 8446. This is the port that people will see when they go to your zrok URL. So if you want that to be 443, knock yourself out. All right, once that's all done, I have run this before. In fact, let me refresh this because I think I have changed that particular section. Yeah, I've run all of this before, and so I will just make sure everything's stopped and not running. I will create an environment variable that references the answers file. Copy that, paste it. And that makes the ZD home directory. So now ls opt openziti self-hosted zrok should exist. And now I'm going to go through and do the openziti express install, and a whole bunch of stuff will fly by here. It'll create a whole PKI for you, and this is why that IP address and that external DNS entry are so important, because it gets baked into your certificates right there. The next few steps will create a systemd unit file for both the controller and for the openziti router. It will copy them into the right place. It will enable them. I mean, you can inspect all these files on your own if you'd like. It'll go get the Let's Encrypt certificates and put them into the trusted bundles and restart everything. And so let's go ahead and copy those, get it on our clipboard. Oh, it's already ready. Cool. Go ahead and do all those things. We're looking for these green. ZD controller is active and running. ZD router is active and running. Great, we're on our way. Next thing we want to do is we want to source the environment variable that the quick start produces and just log into ZD so that we can do other things and make sure that it's working. Controller is running. Now we install Nginx. I've already got Nginx installed, so that was very fast. Next, I will create a Nginx configuration file. This is on you. If you already have Nginx, you will have to merge all these things on your own. I don't, so I'm just going to stomp my file and restart Nginx, and you can see everything is successful. Now, zrok admin token. I don't know if I have one set, so let's go ahead and do this. I already have one set, so let's echo zrok admin token and ZD March 15th. I don't know if that's the same as the password or not. It might be echo $this. It is. All right, great. And this is just for your administration commands in your zrok environment. You may never need it again. Let's make our zrok root, and let's put a zrok controller file in that location. Next, we will bootstrap the zrok controller, and we'll add a front end. Next we will make the systemd unit file for the controller, reload it, and wait until it's online. It's done. Now we will we'll set our API endpoint, so it's our local endpoint, and then we'll make a front end, a zrok front end, I should say. All right. Now we'll make the zrok front end config file, add a unit file, a systemd file, I should say, and then reload it and do all that fun stuff. Let's see. Daemon reloads, it'll enable zrok front end. Yeah. Where did I copy it there? Oh, right here. I teed it out to zrok front end service. Okay, we'll do all that. And now if I do an SSLNTP, see I have a bunch of ports listening, 84, 41, 42, 44, 45, 48 is not important, 46, etc. What is 48? Oh, it's Nginx. Okay, no problem. So these are the ports that you'll want to have open. And now we just copy these echo commands all the way to the end. And what you'll see is it'll tell you should now be able to issue zrok invite. And so I've already done that down here. You can see it running. Here's how you can find your token, and you can see that's exactly what happens inside of here. It runs a journal no pager and grabs for registration token, does that. And so here you need something that looks like an address. It doesn't have to. You can use whatever you want in here. Of course, you can do clint at whatever at o.oo. Yeah, we'll do clint at o.o. And then submit it. And now it'll say, great, now to register, you can go here. So I click on that. Up comes my zrok. So we'll just type in clint1, register your account. No thanks. And it says, welcome to zrok. You can now zrok enable your account. Notice up here, 8446. So I can say zrok enable. And now let's make a new environment over here, zrok disable. And zrok enable, that's actually, I gotta set the URL. Where is the set of the URL? It's over here, set API. Set API endpoint, this is what I want. Config set API endpoint is this. Come back over to here, echo. Localhost is not what I want. I want zrok API address. All right, this is what I want to run then. Over here, zrok config set endpoint, HTTPS, and 8446. And now I have zrok enable, disable. Okay, and now I can do the zrok enable command again. Where is my zrok enable? You have an environment. I did zrok. All right, you know what? I'm going to just rm zrok. Zrok. Now I'll zrok enable. unauthorized. Oh, I didn't set my endpoint because I removed the directory. Fine. Set the config, and now zrok enable. All right, cool. Now I can zrok test endpoint. And so now I have, oops, I don't want that. Now I have on my local computer here a test endpoint. And so now I can zrok share public or private, but we'll do public http://localhost:9090. When I go here, I should get the zrok test endpoint. And so everything's working. We know that zrok test endpoint works. And so there you have it. Now we have a fully functional zrok environment. Let's shut all this down. Fully functional zrok environment using these little scripts. And I'm going to go tear it down now. All right. Hope that helps.